Let's have a conversation. What's up, y'all? I'm back from my trip. It was a good trip. It was a great trip, as a matter of fact. I spent 6 days in Canada. I got to visit some friends that I hadn't seen in a while. I got to visit some family. I got to explore Toronto. It's been a while since I just walked around the city. Usually I've only been there in recent years to get on the train or travel somewhere. Like Toronto's my go-between, but I haven't actually gone in the city just to relax and see what's in the city for some time. So walked around, just kind of enjoyed whatever you want to call it, ambiance. I went into the CN Tower, which I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was a little bit disappointed because I was like, oh, the CN Tower, the tallest tower in the world. I actually enjoyed the top of the rock, which is the observatory in Rockefeller Center in New York. I actually enjoyed that more. I felt like there was more to do. The CN Tower, there was not even really an outdoor option, but I've heard that changed because of COVID. You used to be able to go outdoors, but now you're just inside looking down through the glass, which is essentially the same thing as being on a rooftop, except, higher than a rooftop. But my friend's apartment overlooks the city on a rooftop. So I had that view. Excuse me. I had that view every night. So that was a little bit on the disappointing side, but it wasn't terribly expensive. At least I can say that much. Yeah, so this is just going to be a talk about perspective. And it's something that I thought about because of being on the plane. Sorry. Being on the plane yesterday. So I flew with Delta on the way back from Canada to New York. Give me a second. Just need to get a water. Yep. Yeah, so as I was saying, I was thinking about this topic of perspective because of what happened to me yesterday on the plane on my way back from Canada to New York. So I remember when I was booking my ticket, I booked with Delta and I booked something called Delta Comfort Plus. Let me see this comment. Hi, MC. I booked this thing called Delta Comfort Plus. So Delta Comfort Plus was an upgraded ticket from your regular ticket because I was just booking my regular ticket. It said, do you want Delta Comfort Plus? And it said it comes with all this extra leg room, and it comes with priority boarding, and it comes with like different stuff that it offered. And usually I'm like, who cares? I'll sit wherever I sit. I don't have to choose my seat because y'all know that's a new thing where it's not first come first serve anymore, and people choose their seats. Well, it is first come first serve after the chosen seats now, but now people pay extra to choose their seats ahead of time and all that kind of stuff. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go with the Delta Comfort Plus. And this is what I envisioned. If this is loaded up here, I'm going to show you guys in a second. Excuse me, y'all. I thought I had loaded this up, but it's looking like. Anyways, I'm going to give you guys a couple of visuals in a second. And yeah. Okay. Basically, I was trying to show you all what I was expecting versus what I actually got. But for some reason, it's not letting me do that. Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time on that. But anyways, I expected that I would have this nice seat with all this extra leg room and a place to put my carry-on bag and all that. And what it amounted to was, if I had a ruler between my knee and the seat in front of me, there might have been about 3 to 4 inches of space between my knee and the seat in front of me. So because I paid this extra money for this Comfort Plus ticket, I was pissed. I was like, why am I paying for this Comfort Plus when it's almost identical to the regular seats that I would have paid for? There's no real major difference between this and the regular seat. So the person who was sitting next to me, I was like complaining to her, and I was like, isn't this crazy how we pay this extra for this Delta Comfort Plus? Well, I didn't even say that we pay this extra. I said, isn't it crazy that we get this Delta Comfort Plus and there's barely even any extra room for what we're paying for, and there's not really much of a difference between these seats and any of the other seats? And she was like, I feel like it's pretty roomy. And I'm looking at the space and I'm like, is it just me? I even took a picture of it. Let me try to show you the picture from my phone, because I know the picture's on my phone. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it from the phone, but there was like a few inches. Saying 4 might be generous. It's like a few inches between my knee and the front, which, yes, there are some flights where your knee is almost hitting the seat, but I'm not even like, I'm 5'8". I'm not even that tall. So for my knee to be that close to the seat in front of me, it's not really much of extra. They're just selling you on snake oil. But the lady next to me was unbothered and actually said, I think it's a good amount of room. So in talking to her a little bit further, she was like, oh, did you pay for this? And I was like, yeah, because I'm sitting here assuming that everybody who is in the Delta Comfort Plus section paid for it. But I guess I didn't factor in the fact that not many people, sometimes probably they don't fill those seats, but then they still have to fill the plane. So there's people who get in that section by virtue of there not being enough empty seats to put them in aside from the Comfort Plus, so they just put them there. So to somebody who didn't pay for it, who paid for a regular seat and got a free upgrade, if you will, to one of those seats, their perspective is like, I expected to get this amount of space in front of my seat. So getting an extra inch or two of space is more than what I expected. So she was happy sitting next to me in the same seat, the same section, in the same row that we were in. There's the same amount of space for both of us, but she was happy in that, and I was not happy in that. And it really made me think about perspective in general and how at times we could be in the same situation as somebody else and they're happy with it and we're not. Or we could be in a good situation and viewing somebody else and feeling like our situation is not good because to us that person's is better than ours. My 6'3" tall hubby would not be happy with that. I'm sure he wouldn't. When you think of extra space, you would think that it would be able to accommodate somebody who had long legs, but it doesn't even look like it could do that. I think he would be cramped up in there at 6'3". But anyways, I remember even going back to my childhood. I remember the block that I lived on and the house that I lived in when I was growing up. And I thought that it was a small house. And I thought that I was poor. But not because it was actually a small house or because I was actually poor, but because I remember going to some of my friends' houses for birthday parties or hanging out with them at their house. And they had money. Some of them had money and they lived in these really big houses. I remember this friend of mine who had a movie theater in his house, and it's like the swimming pool in the backyard and all these things that I didn't have, which made me think that what I had was nothing. But in reality, I had quite a lot. I just didn't realize it. They say comparison is the thief of joy. That's another thing. Learning to define our own happiness instead of having an expectation based around what we see. Learning to define our own happiness instead of having an expectation based around what we see. And that's something that we do a lot of in today's world, in today's society. We look at social media. If you talk to the kids or if you have kids, that's what they'll tell you. I did a presentation to some high school kids a few years ago, and I brought a bunch of stuff to talk to them about, but I opened up the floor for them to talk to me. And the main thing they wanted to talk to me about was social media. And they said that looking at their friends and the things that their friends post on social media makes them feel inadequate. Because we're always seeing the highlight reels. We're always seeing the best of what the person has to show is what is going to be seen on social media. And we're comparing our lows to their highs. And it might not even be their highs. Some people go to great lengths to show others things that they might not even really have, or, give a presentation of a lifestyle that they want others to think that they're living. But meanwhile, if you really get to talking to them and seeing their environment, you're like, wow, I might have had it better than them, but I just never knew because I was sitting here comparing my situation to theirs. So this is just an end to my brief talk about perspective. What made me think of that? Which again, as I was saying, the plane ride and how we were both sitting in the same aisle, and the passenger next to me was happy because she didn't pay extra for that, and I was unhappy because I did pay extra for that and I was expecting more. But at the end of the day, it was the same seat in the same row. And perspective changed how we felt. So thank you all for tuning in again. I hope everyone has a great night. Please make sure, well, you already know. I want to take this time to thank everybody for their support of myself, Mark, and the music and mental health movement. Please take this time to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you.